Welcome back. The Day and Night Podcast. I'm your boy Cody Kleeman.
Freshman Feek in the house. What it do?
And we're ready for another episode. Let's get it going.
That's right, man. How you been, man?
Man, actually, this week was it was a relaxing week, man. You know, I gave some time to myself.
Kicking it, cooling it.
I got myself a nice little massage.
Okay.
You know, I actually went to the spa. Got a little spa treatment, a little R&R.
Wait, what's R&R?
Rest and relax.
Rest and relaxation. All right, I'm about to start using that.
Little TLC, tending, loving care.
I like that, man. I was actually gonna go get a pedicure.
I actually was swimming, and I went in the jacuzzi, and I got a massage, and I took a midday nap. So it was a good rejuvenating week.
Midday nap for the whole week, right?
And I had the air conditioning on all day.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I was actually going to go get a pedicure with the homegirl, my first ever pedicure, but some things came up and I couldn't link with her. But I was actually pretty excited for that. Wait, have you got a pedicure before?
No, I have not.
No?
I
some
actually
people tell me like dudes need to really do that, you know what I'm saying?
Like the eyebrows and all that?
Nah, pedicure like
your nails and stuff.
Your nails and toes, like manicures, your nails and pedicures. Like
but do you think guys should like get their eyebrows done?
Nah, I mean, hey, to each, you know what I mean, to each their own. I'm not gonna judge anybody. I've been told, you know what I mean, some of my girlfriends in the past told me to do it because I have like really bushy eyebrows, but I always tell them like that's what makes me me. You know what I'm saying?
I like the fit. You're staying classy today, huh?
You know what I mean?
We're going to school. You're going to school today?
Gotta keep it a little professional.
Yeah, we're going to school.
Again, it's hot as. Like, I don't know how hot it is outside right now, but I'm sweating like crazy. So, mind you again, you know what I'm saying? If you see me wiping off a little perspiration off my face, you know what I mean?
I had to wear my Papa's and Beer shirt. Represent.
Papa's and Beer, that's my spot, bro.
Hey,
that is my spot.
Papa's and Beer was by far one of the craziest, most legendary.
100%.
Like, just... It was out of this world.
Have you been to both of them, the one in Ensenada and the one in Rosarito, or you just went to the one in Rosarito?
I went to both.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what was the question?
There's two Papas and Beers. There's one in Rosarito, Mexico, and there's one in Ensenada, Mexico.
Oh, I went Rosarito.
Went
to Rosarito.
Yeah. So I've been to that one like 3 times because you can just drive to Rosarito and drive back.
Yeah.
But I went on a cruise last year to Ensenada, and then when we got off the cruise ship, we went to Papas and Beers in Ensenada. But that one, we were only on land for like a couple hours. We got there like at 3 p.m. and we had to be back on the boat at like 6 p.m. So we couldn't really like experience the nightlife in Ensenada. But Papas and Beer was still fun. But the Rosarito one, boy, when you go springtime.
We'll stop.
Bruh.
Yeah, we can't have that in the background. All right,
3, 2, 1. But the Rosarito, the one where you go in springtime, bruh, legendary.
Yeah,
legendary.
I loved it. I went when there was like a huge concert and there was like a bunch of people, and it was just a good vibe. Nothing went wrong. Everything fell into place. We had a good time.
That's what I'm talking about.
It was just really enjoyable.
Yeah.
Yeah. But let's dive deep. We got a pretty heavy. It could be controversial. It could be, just it's a very interesting topic that's out there.
Right.
The death penalty, man.
Okay.
Obviously,
Let's get into it.
It's transitioned from, whether it be getting whipped and getting their head slashed off and
guillotine with the guillotine
with
machine.
The guillotine, like to transition to where you can get electrocuted, and now then they do euthanization, or I think euthanization is for a dog. Is it?
It's just death by lethal injection.
Okay, yeah. So then you have where they give you like a needle. So there's been so many different types of death like penalties. Execution wise, death row, things of that sort. So what are your thoughts and your feedback on the different types of death penalty, as well as like should it continue? Should it go back to the old ways? What's kind of your feedback?
Well, starting with the different types, I would say I think the least painful one would have to be lethal injection, I'm thinking. That's why that's the most recent factor, because I think the most cruel one is electrocuting somebody, because you're just like frying their fucking their all their organs and their brain, like just frying. You're literally frying them.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's cruel. I think it goes from that to being the most crucial, and then it's getting your head chopped off. But at least that one you dying instantly. Hopefully, you don't know if your body's still pain for a couple minutes after that, and then lethal injection. But that's neither here or there. What do I think about the death penalty? How about you start, and then I'll go.
Well, I think that it definitely has transitioned a big bit. I think that our jails are overpopulated. I saw an interview with a 60 Minutes of where he actually went into the jail, spent an entire week in one of the most intense jails that there was, the biggest compound. I don't remember the exact details.
Right.
And he spent a legitimate week eating the food, everything, like from start to finish, to really get an in-depth perspective of how it was to be a criminal on death row.
Right.
He gave interviews, like things of that sort. So it was a really interesting episode of 60 Minutes. And he was saying that it's like super quiet. Some of the people don't even get sunlight. But then even the people that were the security guards were saying how it's so overpopulated, like the jail is so overpopulated. Some of these people are doing life for things that they did when they were 16, 17, when they were super young.
So you think to solve the overpopulation issue, you should just kill them all? Is that what you're saying?
No. I'm just saying that like a lot of these people have been in there for so long, and
right.
He was interviewing them, and they're all saying like, oh, I'm already a changed person. Like I'm not gonna be the same person. I want to get out, start working. I have the potential. So it's almost like it's not really considering the death penalty. Should they be killed? I mean, what are my thoughts to it? It's kind of hard to say because it's like if you take somebody else's life.
I think you're describing two different things. I think what you're describing right now is the life sentences and giving life sentences to people who are really young, like 16-year-olds, 15-year-olds, or even 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, unless their crime is like horrendous, like they went on a massive shooting spree. You know what I mean, like a school shooter or something like that. But if they made some mistake, but I don't know. Yeah.
So do you think there should be life sentences?
I think so.
When you're 16, 17?
No, if you're a minor, you're a minor. I don't think you should. I don't even think after you're 18. I think life should. But then again, it has to depend on what exactly you're doing.
Circumstantial.
And not just the crime itself, but the circumstances as to why you did the crime. I think that should be taken into account. Like somebody who robs a bank. So it's like giving out sentences. This is a good example. Somebody who robs a bank, right? Because they're just like going on a robbing spree and wants to enrich themselves. You give that person a certain type of sentence. Or somebody who robs a bank, but he's on trial and you find out the backstory that he's a single father raising 3 kids and he don't know how to feed them. He's been applying for jobs everywhere he can, and then like his final straw was like he just like lost his mind and then did rob a bank. I think you should sentence that guy differently than somebody who's like a maniac and doesn't, and you know what I mean, is just like doing it just to enrich himself.
Yeah, yes and no.
You know
I mean, I think
it needs to be punished.
I think it's based off the crime. I don't think it should be based off of their purpose in doing it. I think it should be based off the crime in itself.
For sure, because just like a woman, like I guess in that case, like self-defense, you don't believe in self-defense. Like if a man is beating up if a man is beating up a wife, right, and the wife takes out a gun and kills that husband, or somebody else kills somebody, it's circumstance, right? So somebody else trying to rob a bank and kills the cashier, the crime is still murder.
Yeah.
Right? And that woman who's defending herself against her money, she still murdered the man, but the sentence should be different because of circumstance.
So do you feel that we should have the different types of death penalties? I mean, do you think that person's life should be that person's life should be taken?
So now we're talking about the death penalty.
Yeah, let's just go straight to the death penalty, not the life sentence.
All right. So now, so talk about that. Do you believe in the death penalty?
So I think if they take someone else's life, but then again, it comes down to what makes somebody learn the lesson. Is it going to be like, oh, I killed somebody, all right, now I'm going to get killed? Or is it going to be like, okay, now I'm going to have to sit in a jail my whole life and think about what I did and regret every second, every minute of what I did?
So you think it's more punishment for somebody to know they're going to spend the rest of their life in jail?
Rest of their life in jail. I really do. I think I haven't been to jail, but I can tell you from just hearing interviews, 60 Minutes, the news, things of that sort, that people really, like, it's really hard in jail. And to be there for your whole life for a crime, like, you think about that every single day. And in the interview from the 60 Minutes that I saw,
right,
the people were saying, like, oh, I feel so bad, and I think about it every day. Like, so I feel that getting a life sentence, there should be more of a life sentence than a death penalty. But then it comes again, it should be circumstantial. So if that person tortured 100 different people, they should be tortured more or less. But then it comes back to shit, then you're stooping yourself down to their level.
Yeah.
So I think we still should have a death penalty, but I think that life sentences are going to maybe even be more effective. But then they may build. It's like it's a double. It's a double.
Is that double? Yeah, there you go with that double.
A double negative, double whatever.
Double whammy.
Yeah. But it's kind of like a devil's advocate. It's like, okay, for one instant, okay, you put them in jail for life. They're going to think about it. They could either build up a lot of animosity, and as soon as they get out,
well, if they have a
license, they can't.
Yeah.
God, it's like I can't even take a side.
What I'm thinking
is both are effective. The other person dies, the family sees it, they feel like they got justice.
I have a different perspective. It's kind of the same, the same result as to where you're going to. I don't think they should have the death penalty, and my reasoning is because you can never be 100% sure that this person did the crime. You can get close. You can be 99%, 90% of the time, but there are people that have been on death row that have gotten killed before DNA evidence in the 70s or 80s or even in the 90s. They were like, you raped this woman and you murdered her. The guy's saying, I know I did it. I didn't do it. I'm innocent. They got put on death row. They got executed on death row. 5-10 years later, it comes out they were innocent. DNA, now that DNA is available, they found the actual killer was somebody else, but you've already executed that man.
So you're saying it to be circumstantial?
No, I'm saying you shouldn't have a death penalty because you can never be sure that you have the right person.
But what if you get them on film?
Again, because then it becomes a slippery slope. You know what I mean? So if you say the death penalty, if you're 90% sure, there's going to be other cases where some people are still. What if the film is grainy, the person has a hood, and you think it's that guy, but you're not 100% sure it's that guy?
Then you should sentence him to a life sentence.
Yeah,
you should only sentence him to an execution, death penalty. If you're 100% sure, you either have video or you have
which is there's never going to be 100% sure. I don't think so. What crime are there where it's an open shut 100% case unless the guy admits it himself? But even them case. Federal prosecutors sometimes coerce you into taking a plea deal and saying that you did a crime that you didn't do just because you're scared to go to trial and get that death sentence or life penalty. They'll coerce you into taking a deal saying that you did the crime when you really didn't do the crime. You know what I mean?
You know what? I think I came to the conclusion that there should be the death penalty, and there should be a death penalty because if somebody is going to be thinking about robbing your bank or thinking about killing somebody, they're already going to know the result. If they get caught, they're going to get killed.
Or they're going to spend their life in jail.
But
that's if you catch the right guy, though. That's what I'm saying.
But I'm talking about the person in itself.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. If there's a way for us to know we're always going to get the right person, then yeah, I believe in a death penalty. But that's not the world we live in. The world we live in is a lot of times, how many times are people wrongfully convicted of crimes and stuff like that? So if we were doing the death penalty willy-nilly, there's always a chance that an innocent person can get killed on the death penalty. So whether that chance is 1%, 2%, 3%, even, I think that slim of a chance is reason as to not have it. Just do life sentences. Because then at least that person is alive. He's still suffering the consequences. He's still in jail, like you said. A life sentence, sometimes some people could look at that as being worse than the death penalty.
Because just get it over with. It's kind of like, would you rather torture somebody or would you rather kill him right away? Somebody would say, I don't want to be tortured. Just kill me. Just get it over with.
Right. Yeah.
But
and it still presumes that person has a chance to appeal or whatever the case is. Because remember, you're innocent until proven guilty. That's that's how the system is supposed to work. You're innocent until proven guilty. So I think as long as there's a slight amount of chance that somebody can be innocent, that you might have the wrong information. Because before DNA was out. I'm sure the prosecutors were sure that they got the right person. And then after they executed him, DNA comes out. Oh, it was actually this guy over here. His DNA was actually nowhere on the scene. But now you can't let that man out of jail no more. Now that you found out he's innocent. Now that man's already dead. You know what I mean? So that's my stance on it. You know what I mean? I say just stick with the, capital punishment is permanent. There's no coming back from death.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Life. I think it should be kind of. I don't think there should be a death penalty. I think it should be a life sentence. That's more torture than being killed or anything of that sort. And
Right.
you don't. And if you're killing him, you're stooping down to their level. Of killing him. And
you playing God. You know what I mean? Like God is supposed to decide life and death.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like. So,
yeah, it should be. I think it should be a life sentence.
Yeah, if God if God says it's that person's time,
put him in a box and don't give him anything. And
I mean, you got to feed the guy.
Well, okay, maybe maybe give him food, but literally just put him in jail and concrete walls and let him sit there, And I mean, maybe feed him every so often, But
yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of torture either. To be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of torture.
Yeah, don't torture him. Just pull his fingernails out.
Just just let him just be in jail.
Let him think about what he did.
Yeah.
And know the consequences. We're always gonna have criminals out there.
Right.
It's just how we handle the criminals when they do get convicted.
Exactly. Yeah. What else you got, man? That was a great topic.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. I've always wanted to kind of know your view on that, but this topic, it's interesting. It's interesting. So legalizing marijuana. So what would happen if it was not just medical prescribed, but it was legal. It was out there. You can walk into a store and you can get it. So like in Canada, it's legal.
Well, in California, it's legal.
Well, no, but like prescription and stuff.
No, you gotta be 21.
I don't smoke, so I don't know that.
And I think in 30 states now. So for I forgot what the first state was Colorado, which was in 2018. The first state for like not just medical, recreational. So there's medical and recreational. Recreational, you just got to be 21. So now California is legal. Washington State, Seattle up there is legal. So it's legal in a lot of states, but it's not legal on a federal level. On a federal level, marijuana is still classified as a Schedule 2 drug or Schedule 1. I think it's Schedule 2 drug. So it's still federally legal. So technically speaking, even though the state, we voted for it, California, it was on the ballot in 2018. People went out to vote. We want to legalize it recreationally. We don't need no medical card or whatever. Even though it's technically legal right now in California, because it's federally illegal still, the feds can come in California at any time they want to and arrest people selling it, arrest people using it, but they're not.
Which basically means if they pull over somebody and they have weed in the car, then they can give them a ticket, right?
No, not in California. Because the police that pull you over here are state officers in California. I mean, the state has voted that it's fine. But I'm saying if the federal agents come here and they want to, why would federal agents be doing traffic stops? You know what I mean? Yeah, that's not their job. But I'm saying if they wanted to come and bust like the biggest cannabis dispensary here, they can legally they can, but they'd get so much blowback because that's going against states' rights.
Okay, so let's say that
it is voted that we wanted.
Let's say that it is federally legal,
which a lot of
everywhere in the United States. Do you think all drugs should be legal? And
good question.
Whether it be prostitution, drugs, everything. I mean, what would be a result of that? It would be all hell. I mean, what's the difference between marijuana and cocaine? Like, they're both drugs. They're both gonna not treat you as
one. You can overdose on it. Cocaine, you can't overdose on marijuana. That's one difference.
Yeah, I mean, but you'll be so
literally
stupid.
Can't die from marijuana.
Yeah,
and I think that's propaganda. Honestly, that makes you all stupid and shit like that. That's like propaganda from the 70s and 80s that made generations of people think that. But there's no studies to support that. You know what I mean? Like there's doctors that smoke weed after they go home. There's like nurses.
Yeah, but if you smoke an excessive amount, like you're smoking for hours and hours and hours and hours.
I think that's the individual person. That's their laziness. That they just want to sit on their ass and smoke weed all day. It's not the weed doing that. They're just deciding to sit on their ass and smoke weed all day.
So it could go the same thing with cocaine.
But cocaine you can die from it, is what I'm saying.
But you can do a little portion. And you'd still be fine.
Which you can, which is why my point is that I think you should legalize all drugs.
Let people make them. I mean, they end up doing it anyway.
Exactly. And then
even though it's illegal, people still do it.
100%.
If they get caught, they're still going to do it. Just like if you get a speeding ticket, you're still going to speed.
And not only that they still do it. That's a good point. But not only that, but when you make it illegal, Now you open up the door for the black market, for the drugs, for the cartels and gangs to get involved in this market because
which leads to death and leads to people killing each other and violence.
Like yeah.
If it's legal, it's just like it's over the counter. Here you
just
go.
Like Advil. Imagine if Advil was illegal. Now you got to go down
and
a
you can
shady
overdose.
alley.
You can overdose on Advil
100%. But do you know why Advil is legal, but marijuana is not, and you can't legalize on marijuana?
Why?
It's because the pharmaceutical industry makes the prescription drugs. Mm-hmm. So it's just about who's making the money. That's where like at the end of the day, where it comes down to who's making the money. If the government, in my opinion, again, it's just my opinion, but if the government can safely profit off of anything without getting the political blowback, they're gonna do it. At the end of the day, it's all about money. You know what I mean? So there's no stigma against Percocets. There's no stigma against all these horrible ass pills, prescription pills that people get strung on. People get the opioid crisis that's happening. You know what I mean? People get addicted to these legally prescribed medicine that doctors give them for their back pain. They give them Vicodin. All of a sudden, now they're hooked on Vicodin.
And you can overdose on that too.
You can overdose on that.
And you think about it, like all this cocaine and all. You can always find somebody who has it, who prescribes it, who. All that, you can always find somebody who's going to be able to have that, 100%. Now I don't do any of that, so I wouldn't know, but I just know, just 100%. Around, like you'll be able to find somebody who has it. So it's almost like, is it better if we just make it legal to where somebody can just walk in and get it on a normal level
and use it safely? Like, what if they had places like clinics or places that you can go to where you can use whatever you want to use safely? Like there's a nurse there that administers it, a safe amount. Or whatever the case is, you know what I mean? Like there's some, I think in Canada, I don't know. Because
you're never gonna be able to eliminate it entirely.
Of course not. You open the door for the black market when it's illegal. Now the cartels are gonna be like, okay, you guys don't want to do it. Now we're gonna profit off of this. Mm-hmm. But the cartels, you know what I'm saying, they run business a little differently.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So then, what do you think? Prostitution should be legal too? Everything should be legal. There should be no laws.
No, I think laws should be made for things that. If I use it, it's gonna affect other people in society. So drugs,
if you smoke and you drive, you can kill somebody. That's gonna affect somebody else.
Okay, so alcohol should be illegal.
It should be,
but it's not. That's what I'm saying. So you can have rules to not drink and drive. You have rules. Don't drink and drive. If you get caught drinking and driving, that's against the law. Mm-hmm. Drinking by itself is not against the law. But drinking and driving is against the law.
Okay, so you can have if you do cocaine or you smoke and you drive.
But if you operate a motor vehicle.
If you operate a motor vehicle while doing these drugs, then it's illegal.
Exactly.
Or if you do these drugs and that's a good point. If you can make the drug legal.
Unless it's if it's only going to affect yourself. I believe in personal liberties. So if you want to, I don't care if you want to slice your arm or whatever the case. If you can do whatever you want to yourself,
but don't have it affect other people.
Once it starts affecting other people and the greater society at large, that's where the law should be. That's where the law should pertain it. Now there are like cocaine, marijuana, alcohol. Alcohol is the leading death than more than any other thing, but it's legal. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that argument that people are gonna die, that's not true because we legalize alcohol and alcohol literally kills people. Thousands of people every year. You know what I mean? So that's not a good argument against why all these other.
You're right. It should be like a law. It should be like, okay, marijuana, cocaine, all this stuff is legal, which would maybe even in turn eliminate the cartel and all that black market, like you said.
Give them a crippling effect.
It
may not eliminate all.
And then
the
government would be making the money instead. Yeah. But then make the laws if you do this while operating a motor vehicle. Facts. Or if you do this, like you said, then you're breaking a law. So 100%. Maybe it should be.
Now there are certain drugs, if I'm not mistaken, like really hard drugs. I don't know,
like heroin,
PCP. I don't even know. I think heroin, even that, like if somebody wants to do it, go ahead, do it.
Just don't let it.
But I think there's one. I think it might be. I don't know if it's PCP or something like that. There's a certain drug out there that's known that people, when they're high off that, they just are violent against other people. So if you do studies and there's a drug like that, like statistically speaking, these people are going to be violent towards other people, then maybe you can limit that drug. You know what I mean? But marijuana, smoking weed, you just said
drinking,
when people smoke, they just want to sit down on their couch and not do anything.
Yeah, stuff so like that.
Affect their own life, then let them affect their own life.
And just like steroids, those are kind of illegal, right?
Steroids, it's not illegal. No, it's not illegal. It's just not illegal if you're in competition. Like if you're in the NBA, you can't use steroids because you have an unfair advantage.
So just make everything legal, but like you said, make a law saying that if you did do it, then we'll eliminate it.
Yeah, or if private enterprise doesn't want to hire you because you can do this, that's their prerogative too.
Exactly. So like, okay, you can do it, I can do it, but there's going to be a consequence.
For me, but if I want to get a job here, they might not hire me.
Then I have to do it. Exactly. And you can still have the rehab, still have all that stuff.
100%. For people that want to get off it, it's legal. Like they have rehab for alcohol right now too, right?
Yeah,
but alcohol is legal.
It's still legal.
It's still legal.
Yeah, maybe they should give you the choice to do it. So
Personal
that way you're
liberties.
not exactly give you the opportunity to do it,
to make your own decisions.
Exactly, I agree. Just
and leave it up to parents. Now parents just got to be actual
good parents.
Exactly, and teach your kids what's right from
kids
wrong.
Like, look, you have the option, but this is the result if you do
go down this path.
And if you did do it like this, so beware of this.
100%.
So yeah, definitely.
Even what you mentioned earlier, prostitution. I think the same. It's funny because the same way the cartel takes it over when you make it illegal with prostitution. If you make it's not called prostitution, sex work, just sex work. If you make that illegal, guess who's gonna take over it? Fucking sex traffickers.
Yeah, the traffickers.
Yeah, they kidnap girls and put them into these unbearable situations because they don't have a safe way of. If a woman wants to decide what they want to do with their body, they should have that decision. Yeah. But if it's legal, now they can do it a legal way, in a safe way, and the government
just like
can
Europe,
regulate
and
it.
Europe does the same thing.
Yeah,
Europe makes it legal. You have a cost. They have cameras.
Yeah, it's safe for them.
It's safe for them to do that.
Relatively speaking,
Yeah.
I don't know how safe it is, but it's more safe than doing it on the street illegally and hiding from the cops.
It. And
you can't even run to the cops if the girls that are doing it illegally can't run to the cops when somebody is beating her up and stuff. But where's that in the red light district or whatever? Yeah. Mm-hmm. If she encounters a dangerous situation while there's
a security guard, there's a camera, they're able to monitor,
and they have the authorities that can also help her out.
Exactly, and then that 100%. Also takes, I feel, more people out of jails because
now exactly, you're putting people in jail for petty stuff,
for little things like you did prostitution, 100%. Like as we say, like you said, with the government getting in money,
right?
They're profiting just like the European government. It's prostitution legal everywhere in Europe, So
everywhere. I don't know about that.
A majority of the places in Europe. When I lived out there, a majority of the places it was legal.
You were in like Eastern Europe though.
I was in Germany.
That's like Eastern Europe, like Sweden and stuff like that. I think that's considered Eastern Europe.
I mean, well,
like Western Europe, I'm thinking like France. I'm thinking like
it's legal out there too.
The UK. Nah. So why? Okay,
I don't know. I don't.
But I'm saying
I don't go into these places.
But I'm saying no. But I'm using it from a logical standpoint in terms of like what's known in the public. If it were legal all over Europe, why is red light district so like everybody knows about that spot?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what makes me think like it's only legal there. Because if it's legal
and everybody wants to go there, some people will fly there just to go there.
Exactly.
So it's almost like if you make it legal,
But if it was legal everywhere, what's so special about red light district?
What's so special about that? So it should be. I feel, to basically summarize everything, I feel like all these things should be legal, but there should be consequences if it does affect somebody else.
Other people,
If it does affect other people.
Society at large.
So whether it be drugs, sex work, all this stuff that the cartel basically controls.
Right.
If it is legal, then you don't have to worry about maybe the jails won't be as populated. Maybe,
and you'll still have, even if it's legal, the same way with everything else that's legal now, you'll still
and the government will be getting more taxes. They'll be getting more money,
and you'll still have age limits. Like you can't maybe you can't do of course not. You can't do sex work until you're 18, or if you want to make it 21, make it 21. You know what I mean? Just like alcohol, you can't drink unless you're 21. Marijuana, you
can't do sex work unless you're 21, and then you're able to monitor it, and then there's not underage 100%. Sex because people are gonna go to where it is legal, so not have to be put in with the law, and stuff like that. So that also eliminates that problem, But it's like things like this, it may never happen, it may not, but I feel like the people's opinion should matter more than, the government's, I feel that we're the people that are experiencing and are having these problems. So we should be able to, like you said, we vote. That should be exactly what it is. You know?
Well, I mean, in the system that we live in right now, it's not 100% democracy. We live in a democratic republic. Mm-hmm. So we vote for the people that vote on these issues. Mm-hmm. We don't specifically vote on these issues unless they're on like the state ballot. You know what I mean? Like I said, legalizing marijuana, that was a state issue that we had on the ballot in California that we can vote for specifically that issue. But on a national level, we live in a democratic republic. So we vote for the people that vote for these issues. So we have to be, knowing that this is the system we're in, we have to be diligent and knowing that if I want to legalize marijuana, this person is running for senator of California. Do you want to legalize marijuana? I'm not voting for you unless you're going to go to Washington and vote on this issue, right? Because we can't directly vote for the issue. We have to vote for the people that are going to work on these issues.
Gotcha.
So we have to vote for those people. Don't know exactly what their platform is.
Just like how, like, okay, let's say Trump. Like, okay, I've always wanted a wall to be built, you know. So, this guy, he's going for a wall. Let's vote for him so he can try to. Even if it doesn't get done, we know that he's going to try his best to do it.
So he says. But
he said.
Theoretically speaking, exactly.
Theoretically.
So you need to, but that means that would, our generation, or everybody, not just our generation, but we have to be politically engaged to know these things. Mm-hmm. Like, if I read to you all the people running for, like, do you know Joe Biden's platform and what his policies are? No, do you know what Trump is?
To be honest.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. But it's not just
people are voting based off the person themselves instead of what they believe.
And then are mad 4 years down the line when they're like, we don't even have this. We don't even have that. And I'm like, well, the person you voted for is against all the things that you want. So But you didn't even take the time to read that and know what exactly his policies are and what his platform is. You know what I mean? So now, like, that's who I vote for. I don't care what your personality is. That's why I'm a Bernie Sanders fan. Is like, even now, like, he's back down, of course, and then he's supporting Biden and all that. Like, yeah, it's cool, but I don't have the enthusiasm for Biden because I wasn't supporting you as a person. Yeah. I was supporting your platform.
Exactly. What you believed in, what you...
Yeah, the issues that you were rocking for.
That's where the research comes in, is like, what does he believe in?
Yeah, 100%.
No, I agree with that, you know, and kind of transition, you know. Well, what else we got? We got a little bit of a funny topic for you. You got the Kardashian curse.
Kardashian curse? What?
I just throw a quick little segment in there, you know.
I'm burning it here, son. I'm cooking. Hey, I am cooking.
The Kardashian curse. You got Lamar and Khloe. You know, Lamar, it may even, you know, affiliate itself, but, you know, he ended up doing drugs. You know, Kanye, he's going crazy with Kim ever since they ended up going together. You got this Scott Disick and Courtney. So, like, you got Travis Scott. All these people, like, famous people.
You got Bruce Jenner, Caitlyn
Jenner. It's just like it's a drama scene. So, it's like, do you think that everybody, whether you come in contact with the Kardashians, you're automatically going to basically just be disturbed? Just, like, basically not be the same person?
I mean, it's funny. You know, you can laugh about the Kardashian curse and talk about, you know, how they specifically drive their men crazy, which I don't know. We don't know them personally. We don't know what happens behind closed doors. I think it may be more of a factor of just that high profile celebrity. You know what I mean? Once you dated Kardashian, like, you are in the spotlight. Like, you can
full force.
You can be famous before, but dating them, you're like, the famous is going to take it to like a whole nother level. So maybe some people just don't know how to handle all that fame. Everywhere you go, you're getting taken pictures of people. You know what I mean? So,
but I feel like
fame is a hell of a drug.
Like Kanye. Like Kanye, he was already super famous. And
true, he's the exception though. Everybody else that messes with him isn't as famous as a Kanye.
I mean, Lamar is pretty, but see,
he's not a Kardashian famous.
Yeah. You know I get like he was famous. He's a basketball player, but he's not like super.
He's not like little 15-year-old girls know you everywhere you go. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, I think the Kardashian brand has gotten to be so big.
It's like a drama scene.
Yeah, people tune in all the time to watch what they're doing. And
it's the reality. It's like a reality TV show.
100%.
Well, it is, you know, and that's all they're known for, is their perfect beauty and imperfection.
If you had a chance to date Kylie Jenner, would you do it? All honesty.
What you say, Kylie?
Kylie or Kendall, the younger ones. I'm not talking about the Kim. You would take Kim?
I don't know.
Over Kylie? Okay.
I don't really look into the Kardashians. I just feel like it's too much of a drama scene.
So you wouldn't?
I wouldn't because of the drama. Like,
Okay.
Like, it's too much drama, you know? It's just, like, always something. Like you said, the cameras, the films, the just all that stuff. It's just too much. It's overwhelming.
Right. This opens up the discussion to a little broader. So you have a problem with being super famous? Forget the Kardashians. Let's talk about just fame. Would you like it if you were super famous?
I would, boy, like you said, like fame. You have fame, and then you have the thing that comes with it. So I would like to be famous, but like there's different levels of that stuff. Like,
because me, I'd rather
like that paparazzi is literally outside your door waiting for you to walk outside. Everywhere you go, they're following. That's the Kardashian way. Now, let's say you're like a Kobe Bryant. Like, people will have like like the TMZ or whatever. Like, like they have a respect factor for Kobe. Like, if Kobe says, like, "Hey, chill out," like, give me a little space. People will start walking away.
But that's different because Kobe isn't famous just for being famous. The Kardashians are famous just to be famous.
But everybody knows about Kobe.
But that's what I'm saying. But we respect Kobe not because he's famous. We respect Kobe because of his basketball greatness, right? So because we respect him so much for that, we'll, like, if he wants to be alone with his family, like, we're going to respect it. The Kardashians are famous for being famous. That's why they're rich, is only because they're famous. You know what I mean? They have no other talents other than that. So people don't respect it when they want their privacy. It's like, you made billions off of the fame itself.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So that's a different kind of situation.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it's a different type of fame. So what I would want to be famous, but not be famous because I'm famous, like a reality star.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't want to date somebody that's doing a reality star, or
so you want to be famous because of your talents,
because of my talents, not because
you're just famous.
Because I'm famous, just because of social media or something of that sort. I want to be famous because of my talent. Like, oh, I respect that for it.
And in the social media era now, it's like it's easier than ever to be famous. Like, there's like 16-year-old, 17-year-old TikTok people who are mad famous, million of followers. You know what I mean? So that's just the era that that's going on right now with the new generation.
But for sure. I mean, and that's a good point.
If I can take fame, if I can take wealth aside from being fame, I would do that. Like, I want to be low key.
Wealth, like Buffett.
Yeah, exactly.
Like people respect him. Like, when they walk around, like they'll like, damn, I respect that guy. They may not go, like, he doesn't have the paparazzi flexing all over the place.
And
but he's got more money than everybody.
If he were to walk down, the mall over here,
people wouldn't even really recognize him.
People wouldn't even recognize him.
I mean, they would probably be like, oh, he kind of.
Maybe some people.
I feel like I recognize him from somewhere,
right,
100%. But he's not like a, oh my God, the paparazzi are just following him around, you know?
100%.
So it's like, I'd rather be known for my talent. Like we said, Kobe. Like, people respect him. They may want to take a picture too,
It's funny because my coworker, his family lives in the OC, Orange County, and he told me he saw, he was at, I don't know, Ruth Chris or some restaurant eating there, and Kobe was in there. And he said everybody was like, oh, damn, it's Kobe. Like, people weren't like running up to him. And because it's a fancy restaurant or whatever. But he said you could feel the energy. Everybody in the restaurant knew Kobe was there, just looking at him. He was just chilling, eating with his family, wife, and the kids.
But they have that respect factor.
You know what happened? It's either eating, everybody's like looking at chirping, you know what I mean? Everybody's chirping, talking about Kobe. As soon as they stood up, like, all the chirpings just stopped, right? And then, of course, Kobe, like, he feels the energy. He feels the energy. And, Kobe goes like this. He goes, they're getting up to leave, and then he just, like, waves at everybody. Everybody starts cheering. It's like that's what you were pointing to. It's that respect.
It's that respect factor.
But we just want to show our love for you so much.
We love you so much. Like, 100%. Genuinely love you.
Yeah, like, it's crazy how you described it, because that's really how it be with those type of famous people. Like, the energy, like, people were chirping, but as soon as he stood up, people were leaving. People just, like, they went silent.
And
and as soon as he acknowledged everybody, that's when the eruption came up.
And that's the type of fame that I would like to have.
Yeah,
is that respect of, like, they know. It's kind of like,
it's your personal time now.
Exactly. Just like, you have neighbors, like, okay, they're loud, but they respect their neighbors. So once it comes down to, midnight, okay, I'm going to respect my neighbors. I'm going to tone it down a little bit,
100%.
I know it doesn't really correlate, but but, like, in a sense, it's the respect factor. So.
And Kobe brought us 5 rings, man. You're going to get all the respect you want.
Man, whatever you want, man.
Rest in peace, Kobe Bean.
I still.
And Gigi Bryant.
I'm never going to get over that. I'm going to be 100 years old, and I'm never going to forget that Sunday at 9:35, or, being told, it's kind of like to me, it's like a 9/11. That's how big of a deal it is.
Yeah, bro. That was tragic. Just the way it happened, too, just tragic,
the way, just out of nowhere.
His daughter.
Just out of nowhere. Like, that's a whole nother topic in general. But I know, obviously, the quarantine, everybody's talked about it, the COVID, all that stuff.
Right.
before the COVID, after the COVID. So, what's kind of your current music, and how do you think the artists are managing releasing the new music during the COVID, after the COVID? Like, how do you think they're kind of? Do you think it's affecting it? Do you think it's? What's kind of your thoughts on that?
Well, my music right now that I'm bumping is I'm still bumping the Sean album, Big Sean. It's my favorite artist. Detroit 2. What else am I bumping? Still waiting on a Drake album, you know what I'm saying? But he's always in rotation. Listening, a couple West Coast artists. I'm still, Nipsey's still on my playlist all the time. Who else I got?
I mean, it's the same, the Drake, the Future, the stuff like that. But do you think I'm more listening
to like LA artists, you know what I mean?
So have you changed your genre in music, or the type of music that you listen to?
Yeah, I have a wide genre.
Quarantine?
I have a wide genre in general. Like, I'll listen to smooth, R&B, soul music, and then when I'm working out is when I'm bumping the trap music. You know what I mean? So whatever mood I'm in, that's the type of music that I'm listening to. But yeah, man. I mean,
it gave the opportunity for the music artists to produce more music because they're not able to go out and perform, to go out to bars and clubs.
But I don't think artists want to oversaturate themselves with putting out a lot of music, because then people listen to it one time and then put it in their shells and don't really bump it again.
Yeah.
So I think this whole Corona time where you can't go to the clubs, some artists are suffering with their numbers because they're putting out bangers, like they're putting out club albums and songs, but you just can't really feel the energy around it ain't the same if you're not in a club bumping it with the speakers banging. You could hear
like a Tyga. He makes music specifically for
the club
and
100%.
things. See, Drake, he has a diversity. He has that lovey-dovey with your girl. He got that turn-up music.
He's still gonna do numbers.
So he's still gonna do numbers.
100%.
So I think like different artists, it kind of has affected them differently. Like, let's say a Trey Songz, who has that baby making music.
Yeah,
I'm sure his listens went up through the roof because people were locked up. Or not locked up, but like just, quarantined.
Locked in the house, yeah.
Locked in the house. So I'm sure his numbers went up. So I'm sure it affected different artists in different ways, more or less.
Yeah, I agree.
But honestly, I really want to get your thoughts on the new Space Jam. Space Jam is going to be releasing 2021. Do you think it's going to be better?
Than the original?
Do you think that the Space Jam with LeBron James is going to be better than the Michael Jordan? And what's your thoughts on it?
It's going to be tough to beat the original Space Jam. Like that was legend. That was a legendary movie.
You can rewatch that movie over and over and over and over.
100%. Shout out to Mike. You know what I mean? Michael Jordan did amazing in that. But sometimes I think about, because I'm amped to see Space Jam 2 and the storyline behind it. They're gonna have current players. I think Klay Thompson's in it too. He's gonna have actual current players in it, not just LeBron. But I'm excited to see it. But I'm thinking, can it be better than the first? Is the first one legendary because we were kids and we watched it, so it's kind of like that reminiscent mindset that we have towards it, you know what I mean? And the kids,
like we didn't actually see it in theaters, we saw it afterwards.
I think I did see it in theaters. Wait, when did that come out?
It came out a while ago.
Space Jam 2?
Number 1.
I mean the one. Yeah. It came out like 94. Yeah, so maybe I was like 2 years old maybe. No, but I'm just saying we saw it when we were kids. That's why we think it's like legendary.
So maybe different.
It formed our childhood. You know what I mean? So for us, when we see Space Jam 2, even if it is a great movie, it's not gonna touch our childhood like Space Jam 1 did.
Kind of like whether it be a SpongeBob or a Fairly Odd Parents or those things.
But
if a new SpongeBob episode comes out, I'm not gonna be like, oh my god, wow, I'm so excited.
But the kids right now that are 5, 6, 7 years old, when they go see Space Jam 2, and this is the Space Jam of their generation, when they get to our age that we are right now, they're going to be talking about Space Jam 2.
And they're going to appreciate it.
And they're going to be like, yo, that was legendary. Space Jam 3 can't be nothing like Space Jam 2, because that is ingrained in their childhood. You know what I mean?
Just like the whole Kobe and the era of basketball. So like
Mike,
Mike fans are
always going to think, because they watched every
single game of Mike. Now we're huge Kobe fans because this is the era that we were in.
Exactly. And then the next generation are big LeBron fans because he affected their emotional up and downs of the game,
the different eras.
I mean? And that gets locked into who you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the Space Jam is going to be good. Space Jam 2 is going to be good, but 100%. It's not going to affect us as much as it would have affected us at a younger age.
If we were kids still, yeah.
But then again, it might still,
you know?
It might still affect it. Like they may come out hot. Like it may be good.
I'm really focused on the graphics, bro. That's just it's 2020. Like think about Space Jam with the cartoons and all that.
Yeah.
The graphics
It's got to be like 5 times as good.
It's got to be top notch. You know what I mean? So I'm excited for that for sure.
No, for sure. And then they're obviously going to release like certain shoes and clothing and stuff like that. Then I'm going to purchase all of that, and I'll probably 100%. Never wear it, but I'll have it available.
Do you have a lot of LeBrons though? You have a lot of LeBrons?
I have a couple LeBrons.
I don't have any.
I got like probably I only have like 15 LeBrons. I think
I had 2 pair of LeBrons, but I hooped in them. Like, I bought them for actually playing basketball. So I never rock like Jordans, like retro Jordans. You rock them to wear out. You know what I mean, with your fit. You don't really hoop in Jordans, you know what I mean? But with LeBrons, I bought them to play in. I don't really think people – that's where I think Mike is the GOAT. Like, nobody's going to touch him in the sneaker game.
The sneaker game with the style and the fashion.
Because he can release the same exact sneaker forever. It's just different color. Boom. Yeah. People still going to buy it. Like, his blueprint, the Jordan brand blueprint, I think nobody can touch it. Kobe, as much as I love Kobe more than Jordan, it's not going to touch it. You know what I mean?
See, the athletes now are creating sneakers more for performance
true.
Rather than style.
Yeah.
So a lot of like the Durants, the Kobes, the LeBron, they're more made for performance and playing rather than style.
But is that true though? Because Jordan, when the sneaker, now they're called retro Jordans because they're coming out now and they were designed back then. But he was making those sneakers he played in all those shoes. He played in the 1s, the 2s, the 3s, the 4s. He played in those shoes. You know what I mean? So he was also making them to play and stylish, of course, too. But then because his legend is he's so legendary, now people wear him just for the outfits. So do you think that'll happen with LeBron after he's retired for 10 years, 15 years? Like Kobe's, can you see people wear Kobe's just to rock with throw some jeans on and some Kobe's? They don't sit right as well.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because he don't have. I figured it out. Maybe it's because a lot of Kobe's are
low top and not high top.
Because with jeans, you really want to rock.
But there's a bunch of Jordans that are low top. You got the 3s, the 4s,
Yeah, but you wear those with like shorts more often, right? Do you wear low top with jeans?
Yeah, like cargo shorts.
Cargo shorts, you know what I mean?
Now that I think about it.
And even with me, high tops, it's hard to wear with cargo shorts. Like for me, it just look funny. Some people can pull it off, but
I mean, maybe. I mean, we'll see. It may transition into it, but Jordan's always gonna have our heart with the style.
Do you know he made way more money
after he retired
with his sneakers than he ever did with contracts in the NBA? That's
crazy. That's insane.
100%. Shout out to Jordan.
Yeah, well, thank you guys for tuning in.
The GOAT.
We really appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button, tell your friends, followers, all
Mamas,
that stuff.
daddies,
right?
Everybody.
Thank you again. Give us your feedback, comments below. And we'll see you next week, Day and Night.
Tune in again, man. Love y'all. Day and Night Podcast, baby. We lit. Boom.